I've been looking for you.
Ladies and gentlemen, step right up. Don't be shy. Welcome to Stop.
The Beyond. A young woman named Liza inherits an old hotel in Louisiana where after a series of supernatural accidents she learns that the building was built over one of the entrances to hell. The film's opening is shot in black and white. It begins with an establishing shot of a large white hotel with a title across the screen that reads Louisiana 1929. A small boat is drifting towards the hotel filled with men carrying flaming torches who are either rehearsing a reenactment of Mary Shelley's Frankenstein or are here to murder the shit out of someone. While this is taking place, we are taken to a scene of Cynthia Monreal's character Emily, the blind owner of the hotel, is walking through its halls as an orchestra of thunder and lightning pounds ominously outside. While elsewhere in the house, a painter named Schweik is painting a mural looking extremely somber and paranoid. The men on the boat reach shore and prepare to go inside the house. Once inside, they confront Schweik and torture him because, well, he's a warlock and we need to get a torture scene in within the first 5 minutes so this film can try and earn its previously banned status. While the extras from Frankenstein torturing the painter, Emily begins monologuing about the Book of Ebon, which has in its pages over 4,000 years of prophecy, the only one is relevant to this film. What the other 3,999 are, no one knows, and to be honest, who the fuck cares? The torture scene itself is fairly graphic. The village people begin throwing acid on Schweik's face after crucifying him into the wall. The prosthetic effects, though, are extremely poor and are completely ineffective throughout the whole damn film. From here on out, the plot feels like it was written by a walrus speaking algebra, high on cocaine in a flotation tank, trying to learn how to play the unicycle. In other words, it's completely fucking mental. Sorry, Mr. Walrus. The acting is so over the top and wooden it feels as if Pinocchio has taken a drama class from Rip Taylor and passed with flying colours. So on with the rest of the awful plot. The hotel's new owner Liza, played by Catriona McCall, has recently begun to work on renovating the property. The basement of the hotel is damp and decrepit, its stone walls lined with symbols carved into the rock. A plumber named Joe begins to investigate a peculiar leak in the wall. For some reason, he becomes a massive part of this film's entire plot. Not as an important three-dimensional character, because really this film has none. Brandishing a hammer from his overalls, he begins to knock a hole in the brickwork. Joe creates a sizable hole in the wall and meanders on in to take a closer look. Suddenly the scene changes before any real tension can be created and we are transported upstairs, to where our lead Liza is entering a room to find Arthur, the groundskeeper there, as the look of a panty sniffer who's been caught red-handed in the act of wafting in some old XXL pantaloons. Arthur claims he was just looking for keys and quickly tries to change the subject by claiming he heard a car pull up outside. We leave this completely pointless exchange that does nothing to forward the plot of the film and are brought abruptly to our second death scene, where we return to Plumber Joe, who has broken through into a small flooded passageway and is continuing to pursue the cause of the leak, reaching a wall at the far end of the room where a hand pops out of its black abyss and plucks out his left eye. Upon discovering Joe's corpse, another body is found floating in the basement, one that for some strange reason looks like it's been fried in tempura batter. If I haven't mentioned it before, the director of this film really likes acid. Next is the only scene that I can honestly say I enjoyed in the entire duration of this film, and it lasts about 5 seconds, where Liza is driving towards the hotel when all of a sudden Emily from the beginning of the film appears in front of her, standing with an Alsatian dog blocking the path of her oncoming vehicle, causing her to stop abruptly as the camera pans up to a close-up of Emily's blind eyes staring back at her in their sockets. But this scene is completely ruined by Catriona's terrible acting and this film's downright awful script. Straight after this takes place, Liza doesn't even seem shocked that this strange unflinching blind woman just strayed into the middle of the road. Next we follow Joe's body as he's taken into the morgue to be identified by his wife and child, who for some reason looks identical to the Wendy's logo. Joe's wife tells Wendy to wait as she goes into the room. Upon entering, she sees his body and lets out a blood-curdling scream, causing Wendy to waltz right in to find her mother has fainted and is on the floor covered in acid. Because according to this director, this film does not have enough of it. In a frenzied panic, Wendy tries to leave the room but has obviously forgotten which door she has used to come in and accidentally opens the wrong handle, causing a cadaver to topple on top of her like the next 20 years of therapy bills she has to look forward to. The film slumps lazily on like a suicidal snail going upstairs who's completely given up on life, hoping that the next step might have some trace of salt on it. We come to Joe's funeral, where Wendy gets kissed on the forehead by Emily and instantly becomes blind because this film has no sense of logic. Back at the house, bored of turning people blind, Emily offers a warning to Liza, telling her the house is history and that it is essentially a gateway to hell, which by this point excites me only because I know we're nearing the end. So in the climax, we have a brief moment where we are unsure whether Liza is going mad or not, as a friend of hers informs her that the hotel has been derelict for 50 years and it is impossible that she could be interacting with anyone inside. So on with the ending before I burst a blood vessel in my brain. Liza's friend John assists her in looking around the hotel to comfort her in the fact that she is only completely insane and not seeing ghosts. Liza's friend Martin, who like John only has one other scene in the entire film and no backstory, visits the public library library to find the hotel's blueprints. While there, he is struck by a sudden force and falls from a ladder, leaving him paralyzed. Tarantulas begin to crawl out from an air vent that look more like Halloween decorations and begin to congregate over his face, biting into his flesh until he is no more. The very end turns into a Night of the Living Dead ripoff, only completely devoid of tension and suspense, as hordes of zombies sprout from the earth and begin to prey upon the living. Liza and her friend John return to the hotel where they find Emily waiting. She pleads with them to leave her alone, insists that if they do so, she will not go as Schweik, who is recently resurrected from the dead and is probably biting into people like Mama June bites into barbecue wings. As a show of faith, she commands her guide dog to attack the corpses. However, the dog turns on its owner, ripping her throat out. Why? Because it's a striking image. It's probably what the director was thinking, but actually it just looks fucking stupid. I would rate this film a 2 out of 10 and would only recommend it if you want to watch a steaming pile of Donald Trump. Thank you for listening. This has been Stuff. I am the platypus. May Zeus bless and keep you.